So when I decided to do a Why Am I Here speech once more at the Occupy Tucson General Assembly, I realized it had to be good. It had to be really good, especially with my poor reputation with the Occupy Tucson community. You know, known as a camera hogging, attention seeking, Facebook hacking, $50 embezzling, egotistical SOB. That's John McClain. That's what the reputation may have been. And as I was thinking of what to say when I finally speak to the Occupy Tucson community again, I thought of my very close friend. I want to say my brother. I remember the words that he always used to say, and that brother is John Cooper. And he just kept coming to mind. And the more I thought about it, I realized I am John Cooper. I first came to know John Cooper probably about the same time as Frank here, dressed much like Tupac Shakur, all the way up to like the bandana on his head. And he was just sitting, he had his post outside of the IT area where he was just doing loud hand gestures, as loud as anybody who could hear him. He was screaming. And there at Pancho Villa we sat, and that was his post every single day. And he was usually saying something along the lines of, y'all need to get a permit. And then if they don't let you have the permit, then you sue them. That was John Cooper every single time. That was his line. You sue them, sue the asses, and plenty other explicitives that I'm not going to use in this speech. So for the first 5 days, I walked past John Cooper, extended no more than like a head nod and a what's up, and just kept on walking by. And then, but the thing is, like, it was just that he wasn't very pleasing to me. Like, I didn't want to talk to somebody like doing like this all at me. I thought a fight could break out any second. I didn't know. So for the first 5 days, I just walked by. On December 8th, 2011, John Cooper attended an Occupy Tucson kitchen working group meeting. Like, there was a small group of us, like 5 of us, and it was right after one of the assistant director from the Pima County Health Department came down and said, we either close our kitchen or we buy another permit for that part, even though we already bought a permit for this part. So John Cooper suggests that he did all the research on the code. He called the director of the Pima County Health Department. He said, okay, all we got to do is we set up a whole bunch of barbecues out here. We do it the right way. They can't touch us because that's legal. And if they violate our rights, then we're going to sue their asses. And that was John Cooper, and I loved it for him. I learned to love this guy for it. And Occupy Tucson, they decided not to take John Cooper's advice. We go through the consensus, a lot of different thoughts. They just felt it'd be best if we just shut down the kitchen. And shortly after, the kitchen went away. No more free food. But that was the moment I realized that my negative perception of John Cooper, for whatever reason, was incorrect. And this felon that served 10 years in prison was a legal genius. Never would have guessed it. And the next day, I went to John Cooper as usual, located speaking passionately in the middle of Pancho Villa Park, playing his arms, doing his thing like he always does. I went up to him and I said, come walk with me. Let's go sit and shot in the dark. I want to get to know you. I want to really see what's up. Let's just chat it up. He said goodbye to Frank, Sherry. He's like, I'll talk to you guys later. And we walked over to Shot in the Dark. And from that point, John Cooper, myself, and all of the people involved in Occupy Public Land have put our every energies into building a case on how the city violates the rights of those in the streets day in and day out. And though we have been reasonable with the city of Tucson, it has violated our rights personally, including everyone here. So we sue it. And so in closing, my answer to you, why am I here, Occupy Tucson? Why am I here? Because every day the city of Tucson withholds the check written to us by the Declaration of Independence, the federal and state constitutions. And together we will cash that check, every check necessary until our unalienable rights are redeemed to us. I would have never come to this conclusion. That's a funny thing. If I didn't take John Cooper's flaws with his strengths. And in the root of that, I realized I am John Cooper.
Okay.
Yes.
May I speak?
Please. Yeah. Why are you here?
Why are you here? Why are we here? Because to exist in dignity and to survive freely is of no worth